I've chosen to grow where I'm planted, continue pursuing my passions for aviation in any way that I can, and help others do the same along the way. And I hope that through these solo episodes, I can offer that guidance and support and inspiration that you need to keep moving forward on your path.
How many people go through life doing work they really don't like, but every day dreaming of, say, working in the aviation industry? They say it's too late. They think it would be too hard. They think it would go against conventional norms. If you never go after what you want, you'll never have it. This is Fly the Transition. Join us as we soar through the captivating stories of individuals embracing a thrilling journey into the aviation industry. From pilots spreading their wings to mechanics fine-tuning the engines and a myriad of industry professionals, each with a unique tale to tell. Get ready to dive into the diverse backgrounds, the pivotal moments that propelled their leap, and the sheer determination that transformed their aspirations into reality. We're not just about dreams. We're about making them take flight. Welcome to Fly the Transition. And now your host, Jim Schilling.
What is going on, my aviation friends? Welcome back to Fly the Transition. I am your host, Jim, and I'm incredibly excited to have you with me today as we embark on a new chapter of the podcast. I'm starting a series of solo episodes where I plan to dive deep into the topics, challenges, and opportunities facing those pursuing a career in aviation. Before we dive into today's episode, I do want to take a moment to reintroduce myself, if you will, and share a bit about my background. I think it'll help you understand why I'm so passionate about this podcast and the topics we'll be covering in the weeks to come. So I've been a private pilot for the past 10 years, and I'm currently in the process of wrapping up my CFI rating. Now, for those who are pilots or aspiring to become pilots, you'll know that the journey to becoming a CFI is no small feat. It's been an incredibly rewarding experience, it's been a lot of work, and it comes with a lot of its own setbacks and challenges as well. Outside of aviation and my professional life, I've been in the public safety space for 24 years now, and it's a job that I'm really passionate about and I really enjoy, but at the same time, aviation is also a really great passion project for me on the side. It helps me to divide a bit between my professional life and personal so that I'm able to associate with people that are in this whole other space that can give me a different kind of fulfillment that I don't necessarily get in public safety. Don't get me wrong, it's a great profession, it's a great way to help people, but at the same time, my dreams and aspirations in aviation have always kind of been in the background as well. In a moment of being completely candid with everyone, my journey in aviation for now will stop at CFI. And the reason for that isn't that I don't have aspirations to try to do something bigger or try to look for other opportunities down the road. But first of all, I'm not necessarily looking to get out of my current career, but I'm still really passionate about sharing aviation with others. And I think those two things can coexist. The other challenge, though, is the really hard part for me, though, is within my professional career, I've had some experiences and been exposed to certain kinds of trauma that have left a lasting impression. And I'd made a very proactive decision to make sure that I take care of myself first. Yes, I love aviation. I love everything about it. And would it be great to have that as a career somewhere way down the line? Yeah, absolutely it would be. But I think I can still do that in this podcasting and CFI space. The important part for me at the time is making sure that I'm doing everything I can to take care of myself. Because if I don't take care of myself, I'm not able to help others down the road. I'm not able to chase those other aspirations. So with that, I've sought medical attention. I work very closely with my docs, and fortunately, AOPA has some great medical references as well. And I was able to figure out that basic med was a path that I could take. And not only that, but with basic med, yes, I can get my commercial rating. I can't exercise it for hire or for carrying passengers, but I can still be an instructor. So that is going to let me be able to share my passion of aviation with others and set myself up for possibilities when I get towards a retirement age in my current profession. And within the public safety space, it's a young person's game. So that comes a little bit quicker for us than the rest of society. And as my wife has said, I'll be damned if you think you're going to sit around for 15 years waiting for me to retire. So I will certainly be expanding more into the aviation space years down the road as I get closer to retirement. But I'm going to set myself up to be in a position to do that in the first place. So as the FAA has made different strides and changes to the mental health protocols and other things within the medical reform space, I paid pretty close attention to that, because though I don't think right now I'd want to be an airline pilot or corporate jet pilot or anything like that, the idea right now that I can't it's tough. So I've been able to fortunately deal with a lot of great people in the aviation space who have given me some great motivation. And with that, two things have really stood out to me. One of them being, just because it's not a thing today doesn't mean it won't be in the future. So I need to do the work now to set myself up to be in a position to take on whatever opportunities present themselves, should there be reform to the point where I'm able to exercise more privileges or get more ratings, etc. But the second is I'm still able to share my passion for aviation. I'm still able to help inspire others, and I love hearing these stories that people tell about how they've gone through this process of career transformation to get to where they want to be within the aviation industry. And to be able to share that with others and hopefully inspire others, that right there is fulfilling to me, and that's where I can grow where I'm planted in this aviation space. I've always been one to seek out creative outlets as kind of a stress relief within a very stressful job, and I'm able to now marry a couple of different concepts of being able to share, being able to tell stories, being able to research and inspire others while making something creative that I can be proud of at the end of the day. So in the space of growing where you're planted, to me that means making the most of your current situation, finding new ways to pursue your passions, continuing to move forward, even when that path ahead isn't exactly what you might envision. You're able to take that opportunity and still make something out of it that hopefully can benefit others. So while I've been publishing episodes that tell the stories of people going into the aviation industry, whether it be pilots, mechanics, something else, I like to also tell the story about where they came from, what were the pros and cons of the other career field, and how did they progress to a point where they chose to take this journey, and what did that look like for them? What challenges did they face? As I've done that, I've kind of thought about some other things that I think will lend itself well to the solo episode concept that we're going to start pushing out. So once a week or so, I'm going to put out an episode that'll be about 10, 15 minutes long that takes on some topics that are kind of out there in the space of people looking at possible career changes, and not just pilots, people looking at other jobs in the aviation space as well. So what I want to look at is, what are some of the frustrations that people are facing? What are some of the fears? What are some of the desires that make people want to take these leaps in the first place? And then doing some more research on behalf of all of us to talk about those a little bit and maybe break down some of those frustrations or fears to a point where people are able to be a little bit more comfortable, maybe be a little bit more inspired, and maybe, just maybe, think to themselves, yes, I can take on this challenge. Yes, I can rise above those possible setbacks, and I can make my dreams become a reality as well. For a long time at the beginning of these podcast episodes, the intro says, we're not just about dreams, we're about making them take flight. And I want to take that another step further, and that's what these solo episodes are about. While I may not be an aviation expert in the traditional sense, what I do bring to the table is a commitment to this research, to learning, and to sharing those experiences with all of you. I've spent countless hours reading, researching, listening, and talking with others in the industry, and I want to help distill all that information into something that's both accessible and actionable to those of you in our audience. Through the solo episodes, my goal is to help provide you with the tools and resources you need to succeed. Whether you're just starting out or whether you're looking to take your aviation career to the next level, I want to share these inspiring stories of others who have made that leap into aviation, offer insight from my own experiences, and most importantly, also create a space where we can explore unique challenges that come with pursuing a dream like this later in life. So what can you expect from these solo episodes? Well, we're going to cover a wide range of topics, all centered around the theme of navigating a midlife career change into aviation. We'll talk about those frustrations of slow progress in training, something I know a bit about because I've taken quite a bit of time with some of my ratings, just with the busy life that we lead, whether it be family, work, other commitments. You might go in with this great goal of, I'm going to finish my CFI rating in X amount of months. And for me personally, I'm over a year at this point that I've been working on CFI, because one thing comes up. Work sends me to school. I've got commitments with my family. And all of a sudden now you're pushing over a year to go get this rating. So we'll talk a bit about that. So within that space, we'll talk about those challenges of balancing your flight training with your other responsibilities and explore some strategies for managing your time effectively in that space. We'll also talk about another critical aspect within people's flight journeys of making sure we're finding the right resources and support systems to be successful. So there's so many tools that are out there that can help us stay on track. And that can be online forums, online grown schools, study groups, apps, all kinds of stuff. So I want to help. So in future episodes, I'll be sharing some of those resources with you, talking about some of the pros and cons within those spaces, and I'll be talking about how to find the right instructor, a topic that's really important and one that we'll be covering in detail a little bit later on in these solo series. One of the big topics we'll also cover down the road is, for some people, one of the biggest challenges that they may face looking at a career in aviation, and that is the financial instability, the high costs associated with flight training, and how that can impact their personal lives and their families. This is a topic that hits close to home for so many people. Aviation, especially as you're starting out, is not cheap, and the financial strain can be a significant barrier for a lot of people. It's also important to know that it is not an insurmountable challenge. There are certainly ways to manage your costs, and in future episodes, we'll explore that a little further, talking about scholarship opportunities, financing options, and tips on how to budget effectively during your training. We'll also explore how to make your training as cost-effective as possible. This could mean finding a local flying club, negotiating rates with a flight school, or simply just being strategic about how you schedule your lessons. And while we're on the topic of financial challenges, it's important also to address another concern that often goes hand in hand with midlife career change, and that is our age. Whether we like it or not, there is a fear of physical or cognitive decline, and simply wondering if starting this journey, is it too late for you? Age is something that is on a lot of people's minds. So here's the thing. Age does bring its own set of challenges, but it also brings experience, wisdom, and often a clearer sense of purpose. So we'll dive further into that as we discuss the realities of being an older student, including what you can do to maintain your physical and mental sharpness, how you can leverage your personal life experiences to make yourself a better asset to your future employers, and why in many cases your age can actually be an advantage. So while we're talking about all these different pilot points, I also want to make sure to discuss there are other career opportunities in aviation that do not involve being a pilot. And I think that the problem is there's probably just not enough awareness out there for what those are and how to get yourself into those positions to capitalize on those opportunities in the first place. We're in this interesting space in the world where people are looking for an opportunity to take a job and not just make it like I'm going to spend 20, 30 years here and retire because that's what we do. They're looking for a certain type of fulfillment and purpose within what they do. So for many of us in aviation, this is more than just the idea of a job or career, it's a passion. But how do we turn that passion into a career, and how do we find the right opportunity to make sure that we're on the right path in the first place? We'll discuss some various aviation careers that are not just pilots. So if you're in that position where you can't get a medical or the finances don't make sense, what are the options available to you? Whether we're looking at roles in air traffic control, maintenance, airport management, education, there's so many different avenues for us to explore. So I'm here to help you navigate those options, and we'll talk about how to leverage your existing skills, network within the industry, and find the right fit for you. Ultimately, through all this, my goal through these solo episodes and with the podcast as a whole is to help you navigate your own aviation journey and inspire others to take that leap. Whether you're facing financial challenges, struggling with the demands of flight training, or simply trying to figure out where you fit in this huge industry, I want to be a resource for you. Let me do the research for you, let me vet some of the references, and I want to share the knowledge that I've gained in doing this research and the lessons that I've learned in my own journey, as well as the stories of others that have inspired me, in the hopes that they'll inspire you too. While my own journey in aviation may be limited based on my medical concerns, my commitment to this community is anything but limited. I've chosen to grow where I'm planted, continue pursuing my passions for aviation in any way that I can, and help others do the same along the way. And I hope that through these solo episodes, I can offer that guidance and support and inspiration that you need to keep moving forward on your path. So whether you're just starting out or you've been in the industry for years, I invite you to join me on this journey. Let's explore these challenges, celebrate the successes, and most importantly, let's keep pushing forward together. If you are interested in taking a more active role in that space, I do have a Discord server that has the opportunity to share information and share stories and successes with others, and to ask questions of those who have been there. If you are interested in being a part of that, just shoot me an email at flythetransition@gmail.com, and we will get you set up in that Discord server so that you can get in and join the conversation. I want to take this opportunity to thank every one of you for tuning into this special episode of Fly the Transition. Embarking on this solo series is really exciting to me, and I hope that it resonates with other people. If you enjoyed this episode, if you think it'd be beneficial for anyone that you know, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing this podcast with others who might find it helpful. So that you can keep your eye on when the next episodes of Fly the Transition come out, I'll just put out there that every other week on Sunday evenings, I will put out an episode that will be an interview that tells the story of someone's journey. And our solo episodes will come out weekly on Wednesday mornings. So again, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player so that you can be notified as soon as those episodes come out. Thank you once again for joining me on this episode of the Fly the Transition podcast. And until next time, keep your eyes on the sky and your dreams soaring high.
You've been listening to Fly the Transition. Life is too short for you not to do what you love. And our passion is to give you all the tools you need to make the transition from doing what you do to being in the aviation industry. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can reach out by email at flythetransition@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Fly the Transition. And the website for Flying Midwest Media is flyingmidwest.com. Keep soaring. See you next time on Fly the Transition.